And a great hello and welcome again for game number 2 at the Moose in Glen Burnie, Maryland. Christian Taylor, Danny Tao here with me today. It's Christos against Northern Virginia FC. Should be another good one here today. First, before we head into what this match is today, last week we saw a lot of crazy things happen. First off, the rain did not stop from the first minute until the last minute and even beyond against Patuxent last week. Christos went down to 10 men. They still didn't seem to really have an issue against Patuxent. They've started the year 1-0. And Danny, just give me your overall thoughts on just exactly what all went down in that crazy first game.
It really looked, once Christos went down to 10, that's when it looked like it was an even game. Christos, the first 20 minutes on the pitch playing 11 on 11, they were just dominating. Patuxent couldn't even put 2 or 3 passes together at a time. So that's a great first showing for a team playing together for the first time. Then just to go out down a man and still score 3 goals is just so impressive.
It really was, and it seemed like this team, they could have ran up the score to about 6 or 7 had they still had all of their players out there. But Asuji, he went in. We looked back at it. Could have gone either way, red card, but either way, that's what the decision was. So he went off, but then, as you said, it kind of evened out a little bit, but still Christos found a way to score 2 more goals. Kyle Saunderson, and I'm glad he was able to score in the first game, folks, because Kyle Saunderson is something else. He's back in again today, but just the way that he plays, how he just has everything so slow in front of him, and the fact that he can still score is absolutely incredible. But he was able to get the goals, and then Alex Stevenson, he got one too at the death of the game, right through the keeper's hands. So honestly, after this first win, how does this kind of shape out Christos to try and go the rest of the way?
It's definitely encouraging when you can get 3 goals in your first game, but I don't think it necessarily means that much in the grand scheme of things, especially with a roster that's going to rotate a little bit as the season goes on. I mean, 2 of the 3 goal scorers from the last game are not playing tonight. So, with some roster turnover, it's a great start, but in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really mean much.
So, you notice we're in a different location here tonight. Last time, because it was raining, we were inside the Moose. Beautiful facility, by the way.
Yeah,
thankful
gorgeous.
that we're here. But today, we should be okay.
Fingers crossed.
The rain should be missing us. Not sure. We especially need it for our man Noah behind the camera. He was a trooper last week, and I don't know if I sang enough praises of him last week, folks, but I'll tell you what, he was hunched over the entire game trying to keep that camera dry, and it looked pretty good. I'll tell you what, from the broadcast we've had in the past, it looked pretty good. So that was really, really nice. But but moving on here to this week, first and foremost, right here, this is where we were last game, by the way, folks. We were standing right in here. So we were kind of dry for it. But yeah, so we're here today. Northern Virginia FC is the team. Now, those of you who have been following Christos and this program for a while, last year and the few years prior, there was a team called Northern Virginia United FC. Completely different team. They still in the NPSL this season, and they've kind of been moved around the Northern Virginia area. They actually played at the Evergreen Sportsplex the first season that Christos went out there when they were known as FC Baltimore, but they have since moved. This team that Christos is playing today, Northern Virginia FC, they play in that facility, that Evergreen Sportsplex. And they've played there for a few seasons. And a few years ago, they were known as Evergreen FC, so to try to match the name of the facility as well. But this team is pretty good, and I can look at the standings here from last year. They were in the Mid-Atlantic Division. They finished 3rd, but they ended up hosting the region tournament. So a lot of the teams ended up having to go down. They didn't win their division, as I mentioned. That was Westchester. Ocean City was 2nd. But now they're playing in a completely different division, and I know this is still USL2, and all these teams change so much, but I guess from a Northern Virginia perspective, what advantage do you think it could be moving into a completely different division this year?
Oh, it's such a big advantage. Having that USL experience, knowing what it takes to play and succeed in a league like this is absolutely critical, especially when you compare it to a group of guys like Christos that, talented as they may be, don't have that experience. So it's just a leg up on with so many expansion teams especially, it's a leg up for sure.
Yeah, and it's now a division that has all these teams in this very finite area with Christos, with Virginia Beach, Lionsbridge, which is down there in Newport News, Commonwealth, as well, who we'll end up seeing. Patuxent as well. It's now a little bit closer together. I'm sure they're pretty thankful that they don't have to drive up to Pennsylvania or New Jersey now.
Yeah.
So there's at least a side there. But this is a team, before we head into Christos, this is a team that are bringing back a handful of players. Luke Campbell was on the team last year. Aaron Etienne was on the team last year. Tyler Clegg, he's a redshirt senior out of James Madison. This team actually has some legitimate players, and there's a reason why they competed last year in the Mid-Atlantic Division.
They've got some age, they've got some experience. I'm seeing guys who've been out of college for a couple years as opposed to, they also have some young guys too. So it's a good mix of that age and experience and that youthful athleticism. So it's interesting to see how it'll come together. Coaching
staff, David Alway, Grady Renfro, Kareem Shetta, Mo Shetta. This is an experienced coaching staff as well, and they know what to bring with this team. And this is a team, and let's not, the elephant in the room is this team is 2-0 already this season.
Yeah, only 2-win team in USL2.
So this could be difficult today for Christos, but when we talked last week, remember, this was one of the teams that we had circled on the radar, right? It was Northern Virginia and Lionsbridge, not to take away from any of the other teams in this division, but this is one of those two teams that Christos has to be careful with.
Yeah, when you're playing top competition, no matter the game, no matter the league, you need to show up against the best. It's one thing to beat up on a team, i.e. Patuxent, where they may not be as talented and probably going to finish lower in the standings, but when you're fighting for a division win, when you're fighting for playoff positioning, I know it's very early in the season, but when you look good and you want that in your future, you got to beat the good teams.
Another mini storyline that we might need to look out for today is the battle of teammates going against each other. Kevin Ventura on the Christos side of things, he plays at American. Nevin Baer and Ethan Boyle play at American as well. They're on Northern Virginia. So some teammates may be going against each other today. That's exciting, but I don't know if you've ever been in a situation like that where you're kind of playing against your teammate. What do you think the mindset is for those players?
Oh, it's definitely an interesting mindset, because those are the guys who practice against you every day. They know you better sometimes than you know your own play style. So playing against those guys, it can give an advantage to the opponents in some sense because they know what to expect, but it goes both ways, right? Just like Christos has a guy who a couple guys on NoVa will know. NoVa has a couple guys that some guys on Christos will know. So it goes both ways, but I think it's definitely advantage opposition when it comes to teammates.
So the starting 11 is out for Christos as well. Danny, why don't you take us through that here today?
So Christos is lining up in a 4-2-3-1 this evening with, in the back, it'll be Jordi Lucis and Kyle Saunderson in the center, Nick Richardson and Josh Morgan at fullback. Then in the middle, Kevin Medrano, Malcolm Harris, the defensive midfielders. Ahead of them, Taylor Calhera, Matt Bailey, and Albi Ndrenica in the center with Ben Stitz playing up top for Christos.
There are definitely a few changes from the last starting 11, but, we were talking with General Manager Larry Sankum before this. This team has just such a nice pull. Mike Lookingland has such a great array of space here in this Maryland area, but even with the few changes, with Privet out, with Mangione out, with Stevenson out, still able to bring in players who are perhaps just as good.
Yeah, and I'm looking specifically at today's number 10 starting in the number 9 spot, ironically, Albi Ndrenica, going into Maryland, played on Baltimore Armor with several of these guys and for Coach Mike Lookingland. So he's got experience within the system, and he's dripping with talent.
Now, the rumor is he's the next Ben Bender, that he might just be a 2-year guy at Maryland, and off he goes to the next level. And we saw Ben Bender last year. It was pretty good.
Yeah, that's high those are high expectations to live up to for anyone. But if he can surpass them, that's all the better for Christos.
Exactly. Now, some of the returners that we want to highlight, at least from last week, Malcolm Harris, he's back. Medrano, he's back. Ben Stitz, he's back, playing up top. Kyle Saunderson as well. Mike Zierhofer's the only goalkeeper today, too. Yeah. So that will be at least a different mindset for him back there, although it's Mike Zierhofer. He knows what he's doing back there.
Played a pretty solid half last week, too.
He really did. He didn't really have too much to do, though, last week, but I'm sure he's excited to kind of get back and rolling. Other than that, what else are you kind of looking forward to today?
So I'm really looking forward to seeing these new guys and how they fit in with the guys who were here last week. So, you look at Taylor Calhera and Albi Ndrenica, like these guys who didn't get that real game experience, because it's one thing to play at a club level or even in practice. It's another thing to get into a real game at the USL2 level and put those minutes in with these teammates. So seeing how that chemistry kind of evolves from other sessions onto the actual game pitch is going to be really interesting, I think.
How important, I mean, this is already only game number 2 for Christos, but how important is a game like this today?
Oh, it's huge. Like I said, I mean, when you play these good teams, you've got to beat the good teams to get where you want to go. And yeah, they've got another matchup against a matchup or two against NoVa later in the year, but it's the first time you're seeing them. It's really the rawest kind of game, because once you play them again, you've got film, you've played them before, you can kind of instinctually feel out, okay, I know some of these guys' patterns and traits a little bit. When you're playing for the first time, it's really that newness. It's about who's the better team. So if Christos can come out today and prove that they're the better team, it's going to set them up very well in the long run.
Now, before we sign off, any final thoughts here now as the sun's trying to peek out a little bit, any final thoughts before we get going on match day 2?
I mean, it's a much clearer game. Obviously, weather, like you said, sun coming out. Hopefully, clean weather, make for a cleaner game, maybe a little less physical last time out as well.
At least from Noah's standpoint, folks. We're praying for the sun. We're praying for the sun. So, awesome. Appreciate it, Danny.
Yeah.
All of you, stay tuned here on 11 Sports. Kickoff is about 28 minutes away, so stay tuned for that. Should be exciting. Christos and Northern Virginia. We'll see you then.
Equality, and compassion. Join us, please, for a 15-second moment of silence as we are all united against racism. Thank you. Now please remain standing as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
I got a pen out too, so we can keep track of that too. Well, great hello and welcome again. The Moose Athletic Club in Glen Burnie, Maryland. Christian Taylor, Danny Tao here alongside with me here on 11 Sports. These two teams both undefeated this season, Northern Virginia and Christos FC. Christos with a win over Patuxent last week in the very rain-soaked affair. Northern Virginia wins over Commonwealth, as well as Northern Virginia in the visiting Black Unis tonight. They will be going from right to left, Christos from left to right. We will run through the starters here momentarily. Danny, what are you expecting out of this one tonight?
You know, I'm just expecting a good game of soccer. These are two teams expected to be fighting for the top spot in the Mid-Atlantic Division. So when you put them on the field together for the first time of 3 matchups this season, I think it's going to be a great game.
You know, first of 3, that's pretty significant, to say the least. Don't really see that. At least in the NPSL, it was just a couple. But here in USL League 2, things just a little bit different. Get an opportunity for some more games. Chances for other players to shine. And off we go. And what is now, right now, a dry day. It's still a little muggy. Right, but still threats of rain, but we'll see what happens here. And that's a lovely pickup here for Christos going the other way. Dranica already with the shot, and needing to make the save was Christopher Palacios. Lovely opportunity. We mentioned him in the pregame show, Dranica, just how good he's going to be. Perhaps the next Ben Bender, but you see it already.
I mean, yeah, that's just so impressive. Already from the jump, weaving his way through the defense, earning a corner for Christos, where we saw last week just how dangerous this team can be on corners.
Team scored a couple of times off of corner kicks last game, and here it comes. The in-swinger headed over. Palacios already with another save, but that is headed in brilliantly, and Christos take the 1-0 lead.
Once again, Christos strike off the corner. Fantastic save by Palacios on the first shot, but just couldn't do anything about the rebound. Unfortunate for him, but a great start for Christos, just like we saw last week as well, with Christos threatening early in the game, coming out hot in this one.
Excellent goal by Yordi Lucis, and he gets the scoring started for Christos. Just in the 2nd minute already, and that was a fantastic corner kick taken by Matt Bailey, by the way, who plays his college ball at Pitt. And it's a dream start for Christos here tonight. That's headed out of play, and it will go way of Christos here. We'll run through the starters here. We'll go numerically as well for Christos FC. Matt Bailey, Kevin Medrano, Malcolm Harris, Nick Richardson, Albi Dranica, Ben Stitz, Josh Morgan, Taylor Calhira, Yordi Lucis, who just scored the goal, Kyle Saunderson, and in goal, Mike Zierhofer. Meanwhile, for Northern Virginia, AJ Shetta, Jean-Philippe Mongui, Alyumbong wearing number 4, Luke Campbell, number 5, Nevin Bear, 6, Michael Bleeker at 7, Tyler Clegg at 10, Daniel Akinkoye at 11, Ryan LeVay at 13, Aaron Etienne 18, Ethan Boyle 19, and Christopher Palacios, number 31 there between the pipes. Brought in nicely by Ben Stitz, and it's brought to this left-hand side for Christos. And we have played just about 3 minutes here as they look to settle things down and work the offense. Wow, what a start this has been.
I mean, yeah, once again, Christos coming out high. Let's see if they can keep it up. Let's see if they can keep all 11 men on the field this time.
That's right. They lost Daniel Asuji pretty early last game, as this one is cut off nicely by Ethan Boyle, something that he did a lot of over at American University. Luke Campbell just lost down. It's worked to the back line. Tyler Clegg, he's coming back from last year. He played 9 games on this Northern Virginia side. Scored 3 goals, 1 assist on 11 shots. Actually, a couple of those goals were against Lehigh Valley. And he's back in one of the frequent pieces here for this coaching staff. Booted forward and nearly brought down by Jean-Philippe Mangui Alyombong. We'll try not to say that entire name this entire evening, but now it's brought down for Luke Campbell and delivers a nice ball over to Nevin Bear down that left side. Played at Lehigh Valley United last season, and because of that, he had a really nice turnaround for Zach Samuel over at American University, and he really was the most improved player from year 1 to year 2 on that side.
Yeah, and already we can see the difference in quality between last week's opponent, Patuxent, and NoVa FC today. But NoVa showing control on the ball, showing patience, the ability to pass around. We didn't see that with Patuxent until they went up a man. Interesting to see.
And a decent look there, intending one for Boyle. He was going to be offsides anyways, but you're certainly right here. Northern Virginia have at least had some of the ball here, and they've threatened.
Yeah, and we could see some of the effects. No rain right now, but it has been raining for a lot of the day. You saw the slip in the box there. So it's not currently raining, but it's still, the field's still a little wet, going to play a factor.
Well, first goal already has been scored by Christos just a couple minutes in. Scored by Jordi Lucci's off of the corner kick from Matt Bailey. As tries to bring this one up the middle here. Stitz, back flick, nothing doing. Northern Virginia not out of the danger area just yet, but are able to clear it to Campbell, who will now push forward. Look at already all these runs being made by Boyle, and Josh Morgan had it read extremely nicely as Bailey comes back to claim it.
That was really well done by Josh Morgan, able to track back, still keep his eyes on the ball. Not a perfect header to get rid of it, but his teammate helped him out, saved the day.
Josh Morgan playing at UConn. He's done a nice job there. He was on this Christos team last year in the NPSL and certainly turned a lot of heads. It was a big reason why this team was able to get to where they were. Medrano keeps his head up. There's a run being made over the head of Taylor Calhira, also a returner from last season, but Palacios has it. Northern Virginia looking to assess where they want to go here. The lob one up to midfield. Shetta's the one who chests it down. Look at already, Ethan Boyle has touched the ball so many times in this game, and perhaps one of the biggest threats so far for Northern Virginia tonight.
Yeah, and we're seeing once again with Christos, the fullbacks playing high up the field, really having an impact on the game as a whole, and it leads to them needing to track back sometimes and putting a little more pressure on those center backs. Northern Virginia passing it around the back now. And just like last week, again, another similar strategy that we're seeing. Northern Virginia not pressing the back line, although they are stepping up now, but trying to let Christos play, almost make their own mistakes as they do right there, and Northern Virginia takes possession back.
Northern Virginia trailing 1-0 right now here at the Moose Athletic Club. Christos, Matt Bailey with the last touch before it goes out of play. Very fast start to this one as we're not quite 10 minutes in. Well done by Mangui Alyombong to that right-hand side. Campbell, he's already had a few touches as well in this game. Played college at SUNY Cortland, Division III. The familiar theme about a lot of these guys, even though their colleges are kind of all over the place, still from that Northern Virginia area. So their reach, kind of like Christos, where a lot of these guys are from Maryland. Northern Virginia, it's a lot of the same.
Yeah, and with so many USL teams scattered across the country now, it's a great thing. Everyone, you don't have to go 2 hours to get that high-level experience. You can get it wherever you call home.
Now, there are some players who go far to play, but not much. Most of them are very local.
And we see a couple international guys on this Christos roster, just like we see on every roster.
Oh, great 1-2 here. Zierhofer had a touch to it, and there's the equalizer, Tyler Clegg. The center back pushes a goal in, and it's 1-1. Not even 10 minutes in.
A great effort by Zierhofer there, trying to get to that ball. Got a hand on it, couldn't get enough to push it away. But that's the first time we've seen Christos concede in about 100 minutes of gameplay. So it's interesting to see how they'll rebound.
First goal that they've conceded since the NPSL semifinal against Tulsa Athletic in that first half goal. So it has been a while for this team. And there is one for Tyler Clegg. That's his first of the season. He's played only 58 minutes so far. And as we mentioned just a little bit earlier, he's scored 3 goals last year, so that's not off the table. He's Northern Virginia's version, for those of you Christos fans. He's the Northern Virginia version of Kyle Saunderson, where the game is so slow for him, but he can also push up and score.
And we've seen it with Saunderson, too, just getting the goal last week. So those center backs who can push up and have that offensive ability is so important to a team's attack, as we saw last week and again just now.
Not to mention, Yuri Lucci's with a goal, center back for Christos tonight.
Exactly. It's so vital to be able to have that versatility on the pitch. And as we're seeing Lucci's control now and play the ball in. I mean, just the ability to do that and not just be in the back and there to clear the ball out is so vital to a team.
Calhera was sniffing out the ball, but staying strong. It was Ryan LeVay. Looking to weave through here, LeVay. It's finally left down for Campbell, and a good read by Saunderson, but Christos can't make anything else of it. Skied up to the heavens. Good first touch by Medrano. He's looking for a fellow teammate, and Christos can try and settle down the ball again. Well, decent crowd here tonight. Definitely a few more fans than last time around. Last time's raindrop. But
great atmosphere here. I know we love that you're tuning in with us on 11 Sports, but if you can't tune in with us, come check a game out. It's a great place.
Right. If you don't want to hear our voices, come on out, support the team, and got a lot of great stuff. A couple food trucks here, a lot of good stuff.
The smell out there is just permeating. Delicious.
I don't know what it is. I feel like, I mean, we can still smell it today, but I want to say rain carries the smell a little bit more, because I want to say we could smell the barbecue from where we are. But maybe not quite as much today. Definitely when you walk over there, but today.
We're broadcasters. We're not science guys. We'll leave that to whoever knows best.
We're not math majors either. That's why we went the broadcast route. So if we mess up a couple of numbers, like I've done a lot in previous broadcasts, please don't fault us. Well, here is Zierhofer. He's the lone goalkeeper today for Christos. Last week they were able to sub in Alex Bobachea from Loyola. Kind of do more of a half and half type thing, but Zierhofer, he has been one of the main choice keepers really in the history of Christos. And this through ball might favor Josh Morgan down the right flank as he shoots one over. And a good first touch. Not quite out of the danger area. At the edge of the penalty area is Sheda's the one who comes back. Stitz tried to keep things alive. Harris, good work to the left. Low ball. Stitz had to try and turn one around. He couldn't catch up to it. Harris keeps one low. Getting it back to him was Dranica, and there's a good shot that was deflected away by the keeper in Palacios.
That attacks the veteran presence of Malcolm Harris, staying cool off the rebound, even in a crowd, still able to work a give and go, still get Christos a good opportunity.
Cut this back to Nevin Bear, and now Ethan Boyle, right as he touches it, goes down to ground, and the official all over it. Once again, Boyle causing some problems. Coaching staff for Northern Virginia, Dave Alway, Grady Renfro, Kareem Sheda, Mo Sheda. Fantastic coaching staff here that has done a really nice job for Christos. Mike Lookingland and Barry Stitz running the show. Some shouts for the ball. Bailey's making his run. Stays right in front of Bleeker. Takes an opportunity. deflects away to the corner. Bailey feels like he could track this down, but how about Michael Bleeker? First two near the corner and goal kick.
And what we're seeing with Northern Virginia is definitely trying to attack more down the wings, almost trying to avoid Kyle Saunderson and Jordi Lucci's in the middle. Such a strong center back pair. And with Christos playing that strategy of having their fullbacks attack a little bit, it just opens up more space on the wings.
I mean, certainly on the left side with Boyle, right side with Campbell. Those have been the frequent options so far for NoVa tonight. Medrano did nicely, and there's a lot of space for Josh Morgan. He's only kept his head up, looking for other options. Stitz welcomes one in. Boyle quickly to retreat. Stitz up the middle. Well done, finding Jernica. Could this be the chance for Christos? A brief step over the slide from Campbell, and he does enough, but down this left-hand side, shot coming again. Palacios clears out. Christos just throwing on shot after shot here, searching for that second. Lucci's, he has the one goal tonight for Christos as we've almost played 15 minutes. Calahira out of UMBC. Oh, lovely ball again. Morgan looks across. Bailey, the intended target. It's brought down. One-timer coming. And it was an open chance that was skied over the crossbar, and somehow it's still 1-1.
That's an unfortunate miss for Christos. Those are the kind of opportunities you only get a couple times per game. But to sky it over the crossbar is unfortunate, but it's still promising that they're able to work the ball there in the first place.
Taylor Calahira, he does not miss many of those. Had a sensational season over at UMBC this season and is actually one of the returners from last year's side. And wow, did he step up in big ways. And when they were announcing the rosters again for this year, Taylor Calahira was one that this coaching staff and this whole program was excited for. And here's another lovely move. Northern Virginia, a chance to make it 2-1, and they do. Mongui Alyumbong was able to steer past the Christos defense as well as Mike Zierhofer. And after going down 1-0, Northern Virginia with two unanswered.
And that's so unfortunate for Christos, playing so well in the last several minutes just to get caught out on the counter. But at the same time, it's very well done by the Northern Virginia attack. Beautiful move to get in on the keeper. And almost missed that open net, almost sent a little wide. You can see his reaction after the goal, a little hesitant to celebrate, but got it done. NoVa has the lead.
How big is that miss now by Calahira on the other end?
Oh, so big. I mean, it's a completely different game. It's a two-goal swing. Christos has to attack a little more now, try to get that extra one back versus being able to sit back and trust their defense now.
So now after blanking Patuxent last week, Northern Virginia have already scored two here in this game tonight here in Glen Burnie, Maryland. Even though Christos, they have had a good bit of the possession, and they're staying on the front foot here. This is right at the edge of the penalty area. Trying to get back to his feet is Ben Stitz, but it will be right on the edge. Free kick. And so Christos, though, even though it is not a penalty, still an opportunity right at the edge here. We've seen what they've been able to do on set pieces. Another good chance.
Yeah, and we'll see who takes this one, whether it's, like you said, they've had some success on corner kicks, so whether they go for a shot on net or try to put one up for one of these tall center backs who clearly are so good at getting their head on the ball.
Harris is the in-swinger. Bailey runs away from this one. Harris goes for it. Palacios on the save, punches it over. Corner kick coming up.
That's a good effort by Harris, probably, aiming a little bit more for the posts than straight up the middle, but requires a decent save and earns Christos a corner that they've just been so deadly on.
They've scored on 3 corner kicks already this season, which is incredible. It's not even halftime of game number 2. And it comes again from Bailey. Dangerous again. Just kind of pinballs around. Palacios took a spill, but he gets back to his feet. Welcoming one in is Nick Richardson, who's looking to get in on the action. He pushes up. Low ball. Cut off nicely. Back it goes for another Christos corner.
That's a great job of just keeping the ball in the zone, trying to keep the pressure on, even if it's not a direct attack on the net. Just keeping it deep in the attacking zone is enough to create opportunities and win you another corner, like they just did.
Well, looks like Medrano will take this corner. Just finished up a season at Loyola by way of High Point High School. Chested down, but nowhere near the inside of the penalty area. That's another decent opportunity. It was deflected immediately, and it skied out. How about Mangualiumbong just continuing to make this run, and Morgan with a last-ditch effort on a kick back to Zierhofer.
It was well done by Morgan to get the ball back to Zierhofer. He looked like he was about to be beat. All he needed was to get a touch to get it back, and that's exactly what he did.
Bailey had the first touch, but cleaning things up is Michael Bleeker, who started this one tonight. And Bleeker can restart this attack for Northern Virginia, who have 2 goals to Christos' 1 tonight. So we've played 20 minutes. Only 20 minutes. It seems like it's been an eternity already. That's how much has happened. Calhira looking for that back flick was Bleeker. Bailey trying to catch up to it, and it's deflected out by Nevin Baer, who retreated nicely. And it looks like they'll be giving a goal kick, so it was out before he got a chance to touch it.
Great effort, though, by Bailey trying to catch up to the ball. Calhira, right idea, just the execution needed to be a little bit better.
Let's see a couple of brief changes here. Tyler Clegg has pushed up just a little bit more. Mangualiumbong now playing on the left side for Northern Virginia. Here's Saunderson, one of his first touches of the night. After Christos, you'd maybe want to take the year out of this game, right? Just to try and work back the offense and get the chances.
Yeah, you're right. And settle things down. You're at your home facility. Get your team comfortable playing with each other. A lot of guys who haven't really had that game experience yet push into the second half, have better chances.
Stitz thought about it. Oh, this one might be through! Was that saved off the goal line? No, it wasn't. It's a goal for Albi Dranica. And it is 1-1, and now 2-2 tonight.
That was just a brilliant pass by Ben Stitz. Just the vision to lay it off for Dranica. The little tap-in to get it past the keeper. Beautiful. Beautiful. What a game we're watching. I mean, my goodness. 2-2 already.
1-0 Christos, 1-1 Northern Virginia equalized. They then took the lead 2-1, and here we go in the 22nd minute. Dranica makes it 2-2 for Christos and NoVa. Incredible.
If you're a fan of this sport, these are the kind of games you love. It's what a fun.
Oh, look out again. Clegg through as Ethan Boyle made another run. Another dangerous moment. The flare's still going on the opposite side for Christos. They've been able to shoot off 2 of those tonight. And now they're looking for a third. But how about this Christos team being able to respond even though they did go down? Bailey with a sensational move. A short flick on as Dranica has been heavily involved. The young kid, he's committed to Maryland, played under Mike Lookingland over at Baltimore Armor. He is going to be good, and we've already seen what incredible things he's been able to do, especially tonight. Richardson. Now, last season he did not play with this team, but he was a guy who played a few seasons ago in 2019 for FC Baltimore, and he ended up scoring against Northern Virginia United down at the Evergreen Sportsplex. So he took a 1-year hiatus last year, but he's back with this team, with this program. He's going to be another guy who really will make some noise at the next level.
And you can see right there, Christos still working out the communication between these new guys just a little bit. Medrano and Lucci's both trying to pass it back to Zierhofer at the same time. Worked out, but just need a little better communication there, and that'll come with time as they play together.
Just a little unique because they're teammates over at Loyola as well, so obviously, I mean, they still practice during the off season, but still not true game action like they're used to seeing.
And even playing on a team together, if you're playing in different positions, different spots, it can take a little bit of an adjusting period.
One thing's for certain, though, both extremely good players, and they've actually had relatively good nights tonight as Saunderson heads one back. Zierhofer very happy to welcome that one in, as this Northern Virginia offense have been pressuring on these counterattacks tonight. Have almost reached 25 minutes played in the opening 45 minutes. 2-2 our score. Christian Taylor, Danny Tao here with you tonight on 11 Sports. The Moose Athletic Club in Glen Burnie, Maryland. A little more clearer night tonight, thankfully. And it's brought out the goals, to say the least. Northern Virginia almost won that one back, but Malcolm Harris, quick to pounce, tries to shoot one to his left-hand side. Looking to direct some traffic here. Another one hit low and screams across the face of goal and all the way out for a throw.
And once again, Christos having a lot of success attacking down that left side, using Kalhira and Medrano with Stitz and Janika in support of just getting someone on the goal line just to get a touch, and that's goal number 3.
How about Janika tonight, huh?
I mean, he's just controlling play in the middle of the pack when he has the ball. Always calm. He looks like an offensive Kyle Saunderson up there, just always under control, always knows the best play, always 2 or 3 steps ahead of everyone around him, at least through the first 25 minutes.
Mangui Alyumbong trying to keep it over here down the tight rope. That is the end line. He has 1 goal tonight, and it will stay down here for a corner kick for the visitors. Score is tied at 2 apiece. One of their first set pieces of the night as well, and Nevin Bear will give way for Luke Campbell, who will sprint over for this one. Actually started his career, Campbell, over at Old Dominion before he continued on to SUNY Cortland, did some good things there. The initial header by Christos brought down here, and Daniel Akinkoye just misses the attempt. He was a former Christos man, had some time with this program, not perhaps in the NPSL, to say the least, but was still with a part of this organization. And of course, this team participates in more than just these summer leagues, but now has opted to just travel a little bit further south down to Leesburg, Virginia, Loudoun County, and there he is, rocking it here. Lucis just selecting a pass now to Bailey. He's played a decent role as right mid, and no call there. Play continues. Clegg and Harris were the ones who collided. And this is ATN looking forward. It was just missed by Lucis, but Zierhofer sniffed it out. The attack coming for Christos. Dranica to significantly move backwards. He scored a goal in the 22nd minute, which equalized things at 2-2. Matt Bailey, he ran right at Boyle, who stood strong. And looks like a handball, so Northern Virginia get it.
And pretty interestingly, what we're seeing, Bailey and Morgan, at least on the right side, playing almost interchangeably as far as the right mid and right back goes, really just depending on if one goes forward, the other holds back. It can work well when it comes to trying to confuse a defense, as long as the players are having good communication, just making sure they know what's going on.
Pushing up his lines here is Michael Bleeker. Bleeker in a little bit of space now, can go nearly anywhere. Clegg is the one who comes back to claim that one. Giving chase is Ryan LeVay, and he loses out. Christos reclaim it. They will recycle this one again to Morgan. Morgan seeps one through. Well done by Stitz, tracking back for that one. Staying down this right flank here, Christos. Quick 1-2, Medrano helping out Bailey. Bailey searching for that through ball to Dranica, who is making yet another run. And Northern Virginia recover nicely. Oh, look out, Stitz nearly pounced on it. Lucci's missed the header. Clegg touches it. Saunderson got a touch. Official was waiting to see if advantage was needed, and it was not. So this will be brought back for a free kick from about midfield.
That's what you call a tactical foul, not a, you know, you just gotta pull them down, stop the break, give your team a chance to reset on the defensive end. It's a good play by Saunderson.
Saunderson retreats. Clegg fortunately able to get back to his feet. Redshirt senior from James Madison. All Colonial first team selection. He played all but just 72 minutes this season with the Dukes. That's a Dukes team, by the way, who are going over to the Sun Belt. So a lot of different things to assess down there in Virginia. That header almost kept the ball in for Christos. Instead, it is with Northern Virginia, but not for long. Oh, Lucci's has been very strong tonight. He's been doing what Kyle Saunderson did last week against Patuxent.
It feels like Nova's almost trying to play more towards Lucci's side just to keep it away from Saunderson because he's so solid in the back.
Looked like it was almost saved by Nevin Baer, but the officials well over that one. Ball completely out. Baer just finished his sophomore season down at American University. Played 18 games there. Had 1 goal, which was at Longwood. Had a couple of assists, both in his last 4 games. Madrano. Lovely ball here. Dranica looking for Stitz. Tried the scorpion kick to keep it in. Nothing doing.
That's a great idea, great look on the counter attack. Just connect that to Stitz, and he's potentially in on goal or has a teammate in on goal. So it's one pass away from having that good opportunity. And that's the kind of game it's been. Just having both teams having plenty of chances, converted a couple, but plenty of opportunities both ways.
We've played 30 minutes. What have you seen here with this first half hour?
I mean, it's been a lot of fun, a lot of back and forth. The ball's not sitting in the midfield too much. Teams are going both ways. Christos, like last week, holding possession a bit more, but NoVa seems to be part of their strategy, just trying to play on the counter. So it's hard to say how the rest of this game is going to go based on the first 30.
Oh, Bailey might get to this one here. Collides with Palacios. And it is Bailey who is called for the foul, as Palacios is still yet to get up. Christos bench not liking it. And watch out here, yellow card given to Bailey, perhaps for some post-foul dissent.
That was an interesting foul because it looked like the keeper was holding on to Bailey's leg as he went down. Bailey's still trying to figure out what earned him a card. But, I mean, when you're coming out with a keeper, that's always a dangerous play, so you just have to be careful with it.
And Bailey's still a little upset afterwards, and he's perhaps even exercising his larynx towards Palacios, who now gets back to his feet. And he worked his way well outside that penalty area, but earns himself the free kick. Palacios recently finishing a season at Penn State, started his career over at Dartmouth. Sends one into the sky. There is Saunderson doing what he does best. Oh, that's a violent header placed down by LeVay. His team keeps it. Boyle snuck through a couple of gray shirts, but Clegg, right as he was about to touch it, Christos win it back.
We're starting to see NoVa put the pressure on higher up the pitch. Maybe it's just an end of the half type of strategy as Christos' legs get a little tired. We'll see if that was just a one-time thing or if it continues.
Here comes Morgan. Slipping in behind him was Bleeker, and it helped dispossess the ball for Morgan's feet, but just as the talented right back he is, he does not give up on a play. Stitz went low. Richardson was making his run, and Richardson tries to dive out, trying to intercept him before Luke Campbell centers one down. Akinkoye falls down to the turf, quickly gets back up. Clegg, though, swarmed by a few Christos players. Nevin Baer sees one hit off of Josh Morgan and out of play. just a few moments away from the 35th minute here tonight. 2-2, the score between these two sides. It started with a goal from Jordi Lucis of Christos off of a corner kick. Northern Virginia did not take them long to respond. It was a goal scored by Tyler Clegg in the 9th minute. And then they scored their second goal of the game thanks to Jean-Philippe Mangui Alyumbong, who was able to weave past the entire defense, as well as Mike Zierhofer. Pocket home the empty netter. Almost missed it, but ricocheted in off the post. And then Christos, it didn't take them too long after 22nd minute. Albi Dranica with a sensational goal that was almost cleared off the goal line. And that made it 2-2. And for the first time, really, it seems all night, like these teams are possessing it just a little bit more as the seas have calmed here tonight.
This is the first real extended possession, as they give it away, first extended possession that Nova's had in a little bit, really passing around, taking their time, trying to find holes in that Christos defense, of which we have not seen any in at least 20 minutes.
It seemed like Christos still has more of the ball here tonight.
Absolutely. Christos' strategy, as we've seen, they like to play out of the back, whereas Nova, they're playing more counterattack, long ball type of offense. So that's just going to lead to Christos having more possession, which they have done. I'd love to see an actual statistic on it, though.
We'll do what we can with the stats, but can't quite get that possession count down, I'll tell you what. Or, the heat map where everybody runs. Then we'd be talking, I'll tell you what. And a player is down for Northern Virginia. It is Luke Campbell, but now he struggles to get back to his feet, and now he is retreating back to the defense. Oh, look out here. Stitz had the first touch. Bailey might be open as well. Asking for it is Dranica. And Stitz looking to chase this down towards the sideline, and he just wins it. Has another opportunity to make another push. Laid off, and Ryan LeVay had it extremely well read. Kicks it towards the crowd.
And that's a situation Stitz needs to get that ball off his foot just a little bit quicker. It looked like he was waiting for as many options to get into the box as he could, but if he gets that off a little quicker, there's probably more space to get a good shot off in the middle.
Jernica, the goal scorer, looking for the curler inside. Stitz the intended target. Malcolm Harris mopping things up just as he usually does at the edge of the penalty area. Keeps one low. Continuing to possess this here, Christos. Calhira, lovely touch. He'll get another go! Oh, and that just stays out. It hit off the crossbar, off of Palacios, and out of play. Corner kick coming up.
I have absolutely no idea how that ball did not end up in the net. Not even off the first shot, which was just a laser off the bar, but off the rebound as well, off the back of Palacios. How that ball went wide, we'll need to consult that same scientist from earlier to talk about some angles with that one.
Well, it's not out yet. Corner coming. Stitz goes through, headed right across. Still pinballing around, and it stays out of the goal somehow. It is still 2-2. Goodness me, some absolute lasers coming off these guys' right legs. Firstly, that shot by Calhira. I don't think I've seen a ball move that quickly in a while.
No, that was a ripper of a shot, and Christos unlucky not to get a third there with the ball bouncing around the box. Someone just has to get a touch on it, and that's likely in the net. Just couldn't get a white cleat on it.
Less than 10 minutes to go before we reach halftime, and this has been a doozy of a first half. Barn burner between these two sides, and if this is any indication how the rest of the season might go, the rest of the few matchups, oh wow, will this be a crazy run-in towards the rest of the season? Looking forward, tripped up in the penalty area, no penalty. Goal kick for Northern Virginia. Saunderson was the one who went down.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Great ball in, looking for Saunderson. Tough to tell from our angle whether there actually was enough contact to warrant a foul. Saunderson seemed to think so, or at least he acted like he did.
But still, you see the center back all the way up acting like a forward. That's just what he does, folks.
And that positional versatility just makes it that much harder to defend a team like Christos, because you don't have to just be worried about a Stitz, about a Calhira, about a Jernica. You've got to be worried about Kyle Saunderson and Jordi Lucis making those runs up too. It's just another weapon in the arsenal.
This is Morgan. Head on a swivel. Lucis, part of that Patriot League winning side in the Loyola University Maryland Greyhounds this season. They actually beat American in that championship game before falling to North Carolina in penalties. Oh, look at the speed here from Dranica, and gets that pass off in time. Kalhira lets it go, and now he has the ball. And Kalhira's inside the penalty box. He will shoot again. Deflected out by Bleeker. Harris almost cleaning up, but Christos continuing to threaten. Brought down for Clegg. Right now just trying to take a little bit of air out of this as Christos continuing to knock on the door here.
Yeah, and that's the danger of playing a counterattacking offense like NoVa has for a lot of the night. Christos is going to have more possession, going to have more opportunities theoretically.
Hats off to both of these two teams for responding while both trailing in this game. And definitely this game feels like it deserves to be a 2-2 tie at the moment. We'll see what the second 45 will bring, but we're not quite done with this first half here tonight in Glen Burnie, Maryland. This night is beginning to fall here. We at least got a brief glimmer of sunshine for the first time this season. Just a reminder, just this recent week, supposed to be a game against Commonwealth, but that one just postponed, so it will be rescheduled for a later date. Commonwealth, a team who has already lost to this Northern Virginia side. Another great speed run! And there is a foul whistle against Northern Virginia. Believe it is still just a tad outside the box here, but a yellow card shown. Looks like that should go to Aaron Etienne. And a free kick just outside the box here. Literally just outside the box again.
And that's just another example of Christos putting that pressure on. When you keep the pressure on, good things will eventually happen. And Christos, another opportunity, a little bit shorter than a corner, but same idea.
Harris to take this. He takes it out top here. Bailey keeps one low. Almost hitting a couple of bodies and into the net. Palacios was worried about it. Throw in again.
Christos, a great opportunity, another great idea, execution less great, but still pushing at the net, trying to go ahead.
Reached the 41st minute here, and a foul right in Northern Virginia's defensive zone as Clegg goes back there. Nevin Bear has to step that one over again. Bailey was threatening, closing in on him. Stitz trying to do the same here against Palacios, takes it away from him, and shoots one well beyond midfield. Clegg felt he was held. Play continues. Saunderson was threatening as well to try and pick up the ball. He now starts a small run towards that midfield for Christos.
And those are the advantages of playing that high press and putting pressure on the keeper like we just saw Stitz doing. If you can, even if you don't necessarily win the ball deep in the zone, you're forcing a long ball where you have a 50-50 chance in midfield.
This could be another opportunity for Christos. Dranica, Bleeker stood in the way again. He's been able to deflect a few of these tonight. And it is out for a corner kick for Christos with just a few minutes to go before halftime.
Just give them a flag. Give them a flag, they can call it.
And we'll see who will be trotting over to take this here. And it looks like Bailey should be doing so again. Once again, the center backs pushing up as they have all night tonight.
And we saw last week, just before the whistle for halftime, Christos got one off a corner. See if they can do it again.
He's the outswinger here, the left footer, Matt Bailey. He's had a nice night tonight. Clegg standing strong, got the first touch. Richardson down for Medrano. Crosses one into a dangerous area, still loose in traffic. Oh, Bleeker sniffs it out, and the counterattack is on for Northern Virginia. Here comes Ethan Boyle. He cuts to his right-hand side. Lovely ball again. They're looking for the chance to go up 3-2. Boyle is open on the back post. And it takes a ricochet before bouncing out of play and over the fence. Corner kick coming up.
And that was a pretty counterattack, but if Ethan Boyle takes the ball towards the net, he looked like he had the space to go right at the net. Instead, he cuts it in on his right foot, crossed it over, but he had an opportunity if he wanted it.
Either way, it is a set piece for NoVa. So counting in about 90 seconds to go before any stoppage time might be added on. Here comes the curler. It is dangerous. Zierhofer leaps out of his shoes and saves it at the far post. It is only Calhira. Oh, and he still somehow find a way to nearly keep that. Throw in for Christos.
That's a good job at Calhira to win the ball, even without having numbers. An impressive effort to take on multiple guys and still win a throw and give the rest of your team a chance to catch up to the ball.
A lot of fighting just to stay on this ball. Corner kick again tonight for Christos. Seems like there's some every few minutes here.
If you're not getting a shot, getting a corner is almost as good. Just gives you another good opportunity, especially with the success and the ability of these Christos players to win balls in the air.
We have reached that 45th minute. And nearing a few of the final kicks here before halftime. Bailey intending one for Saunderson. Not quite. Christos retain it. Medrano just beat out as Boyle stood in his way. Harris is playing as the last man. Squares one to Richardson. Bailey now playing on this left side. Takes another cross in, back post. And a last-ditch effort on that header. And Calhira is whistled for the foul.
That's such great defending, having the ability to get back and find the ball like that. If he doesn't make that header, Christos goes up. It's plain and simple. That's crucial last man defending. It's exactly how you do it.
There have been that many close calls for Christos and even Northern Virginia to both go up 3-2 here tonight. Showing what USL League 2 can bring as we've played the full 45. Just a few extended minutes beyond this one.
And with all the quality we've seen on display tonight, this doesn't feel like a USL2 game. This feels like it could be a much higher division.
And there is the halftime whistle. Wow. What a first 45 minutes between these two sides. Christos scored the first goal of the game. That was thanks to Yuri Lucci's off of a corner kick, but Northern Virginia quick to respond. Goal for Tyler Clegg, goal for Jean-Philippe Mangui Alyumbong, and then the equalizer from Albi Dranica. 2-2 there in that 22nd minute. It stayed like this the rest of the way. Exciting second half due up between Christos and Northern Virginia. We'll be back here after this on 11 Sports.
Yeah, 15. Yeah. Once you get in the locker room. Once you get in the locker room, 15. All right, well, whatever. Appreciate it. Okay, appreciate it. This is exactly what let me know for it. This is brilliant. You've been right. I did. I said thank you very much.
We missed one. Ready? With recording, yeah.
Back here for the start of the second half. Christian Taylor, Danny Tao here with you tonight on 11 Sports. It is 2-2 between Northern Virginia and Christos FC as the teams will switch sides. Christos in the gray, Northern Virginia in the black. Well, the first 45 minutes was absolutely incredible with 4 goals scored between the two sides. A few changes have been made. What are you expecting here for the second half?
I'm curious to see the tactical changes. No personnel switches for Christos coming out of the locker room, so I'm curious to see how they adjust to NoVa FC's tactics. Will they try to defend the long ball more, maybe sit off, loosen up the high press a little bit? It'll be interesting to see.
Well, a few changes coming in Ahmed Ismail works his way in. KJ Nadeau as well. He's wearing number 9. And another American product, Ben Sevier. He steps in there as well. Missed part of the American season with injury, but he's back in, and he's going to be playing here this summer for Northern Virginia.
We'll see how Christos handles KJ Nadeau. Scored twice in the first half of NoVa's season-opening win over Commonwealth Cardinals. So obviously, he's hoping to replicate that. Christos, not so much.
Another weapon. He is out of Morganton, North Carolina. He actually was beginning to play in USL2 a few seasons ago with West Virginia United. They're currently members of the South Atlantic Division in the Southern region. He had played 13 games there. He did score 3 goals with them as well. Almost in here. This is a good opportunity for Dranica. You see that speed again. It's absolutely incredible. Northern Virginia, they weather the storm, and up it goes. Aaron Etienne now playing on this right-hand side. He's wearing the captain's armband for NoVa. And now Northern Virginia threatening Boyle. He's now back to this right-hand side. Quickly steps one over, crosses into the middle, intending one for Akinkoye. And comfortably back by Ben Sevier. Ben Sevier has had some previous time in the NPSL with FC Frederick, who Christos are very familiar with, so they just can't quite escape the guy. Can't quite escape Frederick. A little mini touch that works its way to midfield. Bleeker on the turnaround. Fascinating. Northern Virginia have been under duress every time they touch the ball. Christos threatening, adding the pressure. Saunderson had the extra step in front of Boyle. And Boyle's been playing all his action right here in front of us today, Danny. And wow, has he been actually exceptional tonight.
Yeah, it seems like NoVa's been he's been a focal point of NoVa's attack, really looking for him. I guess they like the matchup down the wing. Keep him on the near side.
Lucci's nifty move. Here comes the run being made by Richardson. Lovely first touch. And Calhira's in. Looking forward. Oh, that's a big slide out by Shetta. And it's a throw for Christos.
And that was just overall brilliant build-up for Christos. The ball from the right back coming up to the left, waiting, the patience to wait for the run and the overlap to earn the foul. Or not the foul, almost a foul, but to keep possession deep at the end. Beautiful team soccer.
AJ Shetta, you know, he started sliding all the way from midfield and worked his way to kick that out of play. So very impressive. He played 13 games last season. Scored a couple of goals, 3 assists, 19 shots. Familiar piece, and he is obviously back here this campaign for NoVa. Shetta looking. Clegg came back for it. He's right in front of Saunderson here. Lucci's working backwards. Lucci's will need to play smartly with Zierhofer here, and he does just kick it away in time. Harris, though, trouble in the corner. Right along the sideline. Lovely touch again by Richardson. Harris is tripped up as a slide in by Akinkoye earns the whistle.
And just as you see the veteran presence and the discipline of Malcolm Harris, you also see the inexperience and the lack of time playing together between Zierhofer and Lucci's. It looked like Lucci's was trying to leave that ball for Zierhofer to come off his line, and he wasn't coming off his line. Led to the miscommunication. Fortunately got it out, but a little bit of a scary sight for Christos.
Played almost 5 minutes here in this second half. It's like Stitz jumped up, but on his way down, got a shoulder to that ball. Bleeker again in traffic, does enough, and Northern Virginia go on the counterattack again. Nadeau nearly slipped through. Lucci's, though, stood strong. This is Bailey. What a first 45 minutes he had. Nadeau back on it, centers one up. Switch fields from Northern Virginia. Etienne keeps one low. Saunderson staying strong. Got a good touch to that one. Stitz now finally brings it under control. Ryan LeVay, he has also seen some good moments tonight. And at least gets Christos off the ball there as they were threatening again. Back and forth here. Akinkoye played down at Bethesda as well. This one back to his defense, and now Northern Virginia enjoying a decent spell of possession.
Yeah, for the first time, perhaps all season, we're seeing Christos look a little hurried in the possession on the ball, not making the crisp passes that we've seen through 135 minutes of gameplay so far.
Definitely a lot different than the previous game against Patuxent. Oh, and it is Dranica. Dranica sprinting down the left, tips one low, hits the side netting. Goodness me, it didn't really seem like he had a full chance for that, but that was awfully close, wasn't it?
And that's almost the exact same play that we saw from Northern Virginia near the end of the first half, where their player, the attacker, had a clear lane, decided to cross it instead, and the attack fizzled out. This time we saw Dranica take it right to the goal while he had the opportunity, using his speed, put the shot, looking for the near post, just put it a little bit to the side. That's a great effort.
LB Dranica, wow, has he been a revelation tonight. The speed, the strength on his shot, everything has just been exquisite from still not even a freshman in college.
And to see that composure, being probably the youngest player on the field, is just incredible.
Oh, this is centered down here by Stitz, and he just missed it. Another fantastic save by Christopher Palacios, and it's out for a throw. Palacios has kept his team level at 2 tonight, hasn't he?
Absolutely. He's made some fine saves. This Northern Virginia defense, for the most part, has bent, broken twice, but still holding together enough to keep the game level.
Including the one shot from Calhira that hit off the crossbar and off of his back and somehow out.
It was totally intended. That's exactly what he planned to do, clearly.
KJ Nadeau. So smoothly he's able to weave through that defense, but just as it seemed like Northern Virginia were going to hold on to the ball for a little bit, it's another giveaway. Malcolm Harris still controlling and running the show in that midfield. Wow, what a player he is. Has played with this program for a while, plays over at the Harrisburg Heat as well in the indoor league.
Both teams finding a lot of space, looking for runs on the opposite side of the field. Northern Virginia looking for it less so, but the space is definitely there. We'll have to see if they start trying to exploit it.
This is Bailey. Bailey had it very well read. And now a few more black shirts come back in support. He'll curl this one. Nobody else on the other end of it. And goal kick.
Right idea. You just got to know that your teammates are there. It's a good idea to play it in, but if you don't have anyone there, you're just giving away possession. Bailey's got to be a little more patient, wait for his guys to run into the box before he plays that ball, or just pass it back and don't play it at all.
Christos yet to make a sub here tonight. Northern Virginia have already made 3, but you better believe, we see the subs warming up, that some changes will be made relatively shortly for this team. Deep into the night, Saunderson backing up with it, still gets a good touch to it. Morgan brings it under control and just it over by Dranica. Everything he does is brilliant. And he's now made the run, and he could be in here for his second of the night. Well done by Palacios. Dranica just with a stab back at it, and it has enough momentum to carry to the corner.
And let's not ignore the ball that was played in. Absolutely beautiful weighted ball to give him the opportunity.
Another chance here, Stitz. Dranica again, can't quite track it down.
And that's just been the story of Christos' night. They've had good chances, good opportunities to get good shots on, but at that critical moment, that last pass, that last touch, they haven't always been able to find the ball, find the net. Otherwise, it'd be 4 or 5 for Christos on the board right now. Instead, we're still looking at 2-2.
It's like Omar Ismail is set to come on here for Northern Virginia in a moment. Meanwhile, though, Bailey slithers right through. Back into the penalty area for him. Bleeker on the last touch. Corner kick again for the home side. Seems like a fog is coming down here on this pitch tonight. Unfortunately, the rain has held off. That's what we were asking for, really.
This is the kind of spring Maryland weather that we've been missing.
And it finally comes mid-May.
Yeah.
Low ball that time. Wasn't quite as good as his previous deliveries here, Bailey, but Medrano, Lucci's overhead kick. ATN on a sprint and somehow on the run delivers almost a delicious ball. Nadeau pressuring Morgan, who had switched to the left side.
Give Lucci's an A for effort on that. Poor execution. A for effort, A for execution for Josh Morgan. Well done to hold the attacker from Nova off. KJ Nadeau, so dangerous. Morgan outbided him, found Zierhofer. Perfect defending.
Well, you know, Lucci's already has 1 goal tonight. You know, when you see that goal go and you feel like you can do anything. He almost converted.
Hey, if it went in, it would have been fantastic.
Still 2-2 between Nova and Christos tonight. A highly contested USL League 2 game. First time these two teams have combined. A chopper that Calhira welcomes in. Calhira on the run, took a heavy touch. ATN slips in. Calhira goes down. And a yellow card shown to ATN. And that's his 2nd of the night. And he is sent off. With still about 30 minutes to go. And in the 2nd straight game, somebody sent off.
And with as even as this game has been, you have to wonder how much of a momentum swing that will be. Christos going up a man. We saw them play down a man last week. Up a man, though, in an evenly contested game so far, that could be the difference.
Wow, how big of a moment is this now for Christos? They were on the other end of this last week against Patuxent, but they still won 3-0, and now they have the chance with 1 extra player out there, and they'll have about 30 minutes to go the rest of the way with the extra advantage.
And you have to wonder how this changes the team's tactics. Does Nova start sitting back, maybe parking the bus a little more? Does Christos keep pushing up, play the high press, even more so than they already have? How do these teams adjust to the new game circumstances?
ATN, he played at James Madison back in 2011. Also played with Mobella FC in La Liga 3 over in Spain. Traded with the U23 national camp with Haiti. And has been playing with Northern Virginia here the last couple of seasons. 10 games last year. Believe it or not, in the entirety of last season, only 1 yellow card. And here he is already with a couple tonight. Jernica still chasing it down to the corner as Ryan LeVay looks to avoid some trouble. Severe has one hit off of his own player. Claiming things is Medrano.
And you have to wonder for Nova how important it is not only losing a player, losing the player wearing the armband too. That's especially losing that leadership could be vital.
Calhira searched for the opportunity. This might be how a lot of the rest of this game goes. Just Christos all around the penalty area, pegging some shots in, pegging some opportunities in. Palacios diving to his right-hand side and still covers up that one. Well, it looked like that Omar Ismail was about to come in, but now with that red card, 2nd yellow, that perhaps changes some tactics a little bit, as you said.
Absolutely. You know, if for Nova, maybe they have to go even more on the counterattack for offense than they were. They were already struggling to get by Saunderson, Lucci's, Harris in the back, and Christos winning another corner. It seems like Nova's content to just try and sit back and maybe ride this one out.
Shot came on from Stitz, and Ahmed Ismail standing right in his way. Corner kick again for Christos tonight.
We'll also have to see if this affects Christos' substitutions now. Do they go more offensive-minded guys to get fresher legs? Or, you know, a goal carrier could change everything, of course.
Everybody from Northern Virginia back there in the box. It's a low liner. They're still able to claim it. Cross coming in again. Palacios couldn't handle it, but it looks like offsides anyways. And this will allow NoVa to take a couple more seconds here off the clock. And Palacios sending his lines up. He's been brilliant tonight, even though he has allowed 2. He's been definitely the busier of the 2 keepers, and he's kept his team here. LeVay struggling just to work free from this Christos defense. And NoVa can't keep it for long. Here comes Dranica again. He had a goal in the 22nd minute tonight, and it leveled things up at 2 apiece. Back to Bailey with Severe trying to defend him here. Morgan. Looks like a decent ball. Still pressuring here, loose in front. Palacios goes down, shot, and the goal for Ben Stitz. And it is a lead here for Christos tonight.
And that's why you never give up on a play. NoVa defender calling the keeper out to collect. Stitz doesn't give up, still chasing the ball, still working, makes that extra effort, manages to get a touch, keep possession, get around the keeper. That's just an example of a high work rate, and that's what it'll do for you. It gets you easy, well, not easy, but like easier shots that lead to good-looking goals.
It's the nature of the foul that gives him the yellow card. It doesn't matter how many he's had.
So Ben Stitz scoring his first goal of the season, and now Northern Virginia, who were already down a player, they were looking to maybe just grab 1 point out of this. Now they have to find a way to chase this game, and that sub is made, though, that we were alluding to a little bit earlier. Omar Ismail comes on in, and Christos perhaps pushing to get that 4th goal of the night. Try to put away Northern Virginia as early as they can, and deep into the night. That one's sent by Josh Morgan.
Kick that ball like he had a vendetta against it.
Guys.
Can we get that next time, please?
Here.
I need the passes.
In case you're just tuning in, this game was tied for a while at 2-2. Ben Stitz has just made it 3-2 Christos, as they're now less than 30 minutes away from picking up another 3 points and becoming the only unbeaten team so far in this division.
Christos more content now to just pass the ball around the back, work it around, see if they can run a little clock now that they've got a lead and a man advantage. Plays very much to their interest to bleed some clock.
We are approaching the 65th minute here. Another one coming deep into the forest. Actually, no, the tree helped it stay in, but it will be a substitution for Christos. Their first of the game, Jacob Bender and Kevin Ventura will trot onto the pitch. Malcolm Harris making way, as well as Matt Bailey, both who ran nice races tonight. And we talked about in our pregame show here, Danny, about Ventura against his fellow American teammates. Well, he's got a couple out there. Ethan Boyle, as well as the new substitute tonight in Ben Severe.
Yeah, and you got to think with a 3-2 advantage now, that plays into Christos' benefit. The fact that he has some knowledge of their habits, how they play, can help defend them a little better and also communicate to his teammates how to defend them a little better. And here comes Christos on the counter.
Calhira on the pass to Stitz. He might be looking for a brace tonight. Clay got in the way. Out to Bender, who is immediately involved. Medrano goes high. Not too far away, though.
And honestly, considering the circumstances, that's a bit of a poor shot to take it from as far as he did. Christos had numbers. I understand you have to back it out, but there surely was a better option than having one that sails way high from 30 yards.
Well, Jacob Bender also making his way in, graduated from Messiah back in 2016, was the D3 National Player of the Year, the D3Soccer.com Midfielder of the Year. Oh, could Northern Virginia have a chance now? This is their chance, by the way. This is their opportunity, as it is Nadeau on the counterattack, taken down just outside the box. If you're down a player, you have to take advantage of every single set piece you get.
You got to think they're going to put this one on net from this range. I mean, unless they have some kind of set piece play cooked up that results in a shot within 2 or 3 touches. And Christos clearly expecting it, putting 4 in the wall here.
Zierhofer instructing where he wants this wall to be. Right now it looks like Clegg is the one standing over this. Again, he has 1 goal tonight. Looking for a second. He's got a good curler.
Not even Christos, everyone in the box, everyone trying to stop this.
Clegg goes for it, and it's well over. So the opportunity not quite there for NoVa, and it stays 3-2 Christos. We've reached now 65 minutes played. 25 to go for Christos here on the night. They're looking to pick up back-to-back wins to start up the season. And they're welcome into USL League 2. Christian Taylor, Danny Tao here with you tonight on 11 Sports. Shout out to Mr. Noah Walker up top, running the camera, working the sound, doing absolutely everything here for us. We'll be with you here all season long.
Nick Richardson pleading for the ball on the near side. Not a defender within 20 yards of him, but no one saw it clearly. Fog, maybe impairing some vision.
Now, Richardson's made some strong runs tonight, and I do want to maybe point out that he maybe quite hasn't gotten the touches that Matt Bailey did over there on that right-hand side, but still a very dangerous threat. Well, Northern Virginia, give them some credit here. They're down a player, but they're still trying to threaten. Still at the edge of the penalty area now, Akinkoye. And it is still Bleecker down. Zierhofer quickly sprinting across his line, and now play is stopped. As they will tend to the injured NoVa player. And a change will need to be made here. So it looks like Patrick Figaro will sub in. Actually looks like the injured player is Ethan Boyle. Oh, we had a really nice night tonight, Boyle.
Absolutely. Arguably NoVa's most impactful player on the offensive end, just weaving in and out time and again, finding space, finding the ball. Great night for Boyle, although it ends earlier than he would have hoped.
Played in every game this season, had a goal and an assist in the semifinal against Navy in the Patriot League. And off he goes. Patrick Figaro is now on for Northern Virginia, wearing number 15. So they have used all but 2 subs here tonight. And we'll see if they go to them here as the rest of this one continues. Not too far away from the 70th minute now. Christos still leading 3-2. Right now, Ben Stitz has the winner in the second half. And Stitz leads the pack. Clegg lays off just a tad. It's inside for Jacob Bender. Has a little bit of spiral on it in the air into the fog here in Glen Burnie, Maryland tonight. Morgan. This is Lucci's. Oh, look at this ball. Great first touch. Richardson Chance to exploit the defense. Stitz again. Tries the overlap here on his counterpart. Ryan LeVay staying right on him. Stitz gets away from this one. Leaks through. Goal kick.
And that's exactly what I was saying a few minutes ago about Richardson having so much open space on the near side of the field, unable to find him up until now. But now Christos had a great opportunity, obviously unable to convert, but they should be attacking that more if they want to get another one.
Northern Virginia with a counterattack to the new man here in Figaro. Morgan cuts him off here. Figaro still battling in the corner. Decent spell here for Northern Virginia. It's sent down. Severe showing his speed. Severe looks dangerous. Backside, not taking any chances. And out for a corner.
And despite being down a man, credit to NoVa, still fighting hard, still looking to create in the offensive end. And it's tougher against a good Christos defense to find those opportunities. But, I mean, a corner is probably about as good as it's going to get.
Taking this corner is Akinkoye, and he's invited to have a go. Pretty far, clears the pack. Not out of the danger area, though. LeVay shooting, and Zierhofer covers on this one.
Yeah, and as far as shots go, that's on the easier end of the spectrum for Zierhofer. Straight at him, not really moving, not overly high velocity on that one. A decent effort, but easy enough for the keeper.
Christos looking to maneuver beyond this Northern Virginia defense. Kalhira. He's met by Ismail. Clever piece of defending.
And due to the circumstances, I mean, that's about as well as he could have hoped, going at 1 and 2.
Ventura. Oh, gives this one right away to Ismail. Figaro looking. Figaro passing. Severe. He's had a few touches on that left side. Nadeau, he's caused a little bit of havoc since he's come in. Northern Virginia closing in, but once again, you can feel where they're one player short. Just can't quite get that extra pass off. This is Ben Stitz, Kalhira again. These two have been connecting really nicely tonight. Stitz underneath, chance here, angle closing down, Bender! Oh, what a save that was by Palacios. And it's still 3-2.
Wow, that is so incredibly difficult to do as a goalkeeper, to go from one side of the net where you've got Stitz dribbling in, to recover to the other side and make the save on a close-range shot. That's a fantastic effort by Palacios. Truly the only reason this is only a one-goal game. Christos deserves at least one more by now.
You know, it could literally be like 6-2, 7-2 right now. Palacios has made saves completely out of his mind tonight. He's been absolutely brilliant back there between the pipes, and even though the scoreline may not suggest it, it could be a lot worse. Both teams are set to make a few changes here. 3-2, Christos right now over Northern Virginia, but the visitors looking for an avenue back into this one. This is Bender, brother of Ben Bender, who was so good last year for Christos. The entire Bender family extremely talented with this sport. Medrano. What a piece he's beginning to turn out to be for this Christos team. Last season, you know, he was seeing some action, but already seems like he's maybe the newer, younger version of Malcolm Harris. That is just how good he is.
That's high praise. We call someone another Malcolm Harris. I mean, if he can even be close to as good as Harris is for this team, that's a huge, that's a win.
Had a lot of action down this left side, Christos. Dronika having another chance, and oh, wow, that one went far. And now the subs are coming 2 for both sides. It's like Jordan Travers as well as super sub Matt Brummett about to come on for Christos FC. And the changes made for Northern Virginia, their last two of the night. Ahmed Elmatoy as well as Chris Schramm. Exiting play, Ryan LeVay as well as Daniel Akinkoye, who ran some good races tonight, trusting their keeper in Zierhofer to keep this one low, and now he picks one up.
Great play by Travers, especially for just coming on the pitch, already under pressure, made the exact right play to head back to his keeper. That just shows you great players always have their mind in the game, even when they're not necessarily in the game. When they come on, can just immediately make an impact.
Christos switch fields again. Northern Virginia down to 10 men. But after the first shock of it and after Christos got that goal, they've been able to readjust, it seems, kind of figure things out to where it doesn't quite seem as lopsided as it could down a player.
Absolutely. Credit, again, to Northern Virginia for the fight they're putting up. Not only are they keeping themselves in it, down a goal, down a man, they've had some opportunities to equalize. So credit to them, but Christos still playing hard as well, looking for another to potentially put this game away.
The fog becoming a little more dense here tonight. Christos still in charge, and they pick up the ball again. Stitz, oh, look at the run made by Matt Brummett. He may have an opportunity here. Oh, and a brilliant close down at the last second. Brummett certainly thought he was in.
I can just imagine my youth soccer coaches screaming at me after a play like that. Use your weak foot. If he goes one time with the left foot, that's a goal.
Now here's the thing about Matt Brummett. The few goals that he has scored in his Christos career, both against Northern Virginia United. So perhaps just Northern Virginia in the name, and here he is threatening again. Not a poor ball, but one that was intercepted by Palacios.
That's a boot if I've ever seen one.
Goodness me, Saunderson needed to deal with that one. Zierhofer right back on it. See what Christos are conspiring here, leading by one.
And you would think they would start attacking down this near side a little more. Obviously, Brummett just having success there. Travers with a swath of open space if they can just find him.
Now Travers playing in a unique position as well, because usually in the past he's played more of a center back, but he's been one of the quicker center backs. So now he's playing more of a wing back. It's going to be very fascinating to see what type of threat he can be down there.
And it's the same pressure that we've seen from Richardson. We've seen it from Morgan. We saw it last game from Christos. They're having their fullbacks play high up the pitch. Oh.
Look out, a trip up coming. There's a yellow card out of the pocket. And that goes against Medrano right on Palacios as he went pretty high on the goalkeeper. And perhaps still lucky to have a yellow there, but after it all, it's still 3-2. Christos still with their 11 players out there.
Yeah, especially for being an off-ball foul. He's lucky that's only a yellow.
Good to see that Palacios is okay. At least the fortunate thing about it, didn't seem like he got too much contact with him, but it's obviously the intent of the play that was oh so dangerous. A dangerous play in the end. So perhaps some scrambling to try and get him off the pitch here, Medrano, now that he's on a yellow, and could almost even count that a yellow and a half. And probably one or two more fouls and he's sent off. Oh, there's Travers right on cue. Brummett is offsides.
Oh, that's unlucky. Great job by Travers, not only to make that run, but to find Brummett with the one touch. Beautiful play, just unlucky to not be kept on.
Up it goes. Lucchese again. He was able to touch that in plenty of space. Oh, Ventura with a nifty move. Intercepted again, but Ventura sliding in. There's a trip up as tracking back was Clegg.
Zierhofer pleading for his team to make the easy pass and not keep trying all the fancy things they're starting to do here, and you got to agree.
Kicked the ball a couple of times there, Medrano, so that means Northern Virginia get a restart just inside midfield.
This is an opportunity. You got to expect they're going to float one into the box here, try to get ahead on it, almost like it's a corner kick, but coming straight on. Same kind of effect here for NoVa.
10 minutes remaining. Christos leading 3-2. The kick comes in here from Ismail. A player goes down. Bleeker shouts for handball. Ismail tries again. Squares one to Schramm. Lovely tackle made. Oh no, they're calling a foul against Christos once again at the edge of the penalty area. Making the run was Figaro. And once again, a very, very dangerous situation for the visitors. Kevin Ventura is the one who committed the foul.
Lucky that wasn't a second yellow. Very, very lucky.
Clegg again over this one. A little bit shorter this time. Zierhofer made it a little difficult. Not gone yet. And out for a throw for the visitors.
Admirable effort for Northern Virginia. And that was exactly what they needed to do to get the ball right in on net. Zierhofer made the play, but Northern Virginia is threatening despite being down a man. Credit to them.
Doesn't look like they're down one player, does it?
No, not at all. In fact, it almost seems to have inspired them.
That's the long throw. This could be the chance. No. Well done by Jordan Travers and clears it to safety. Wow, Jordan Travers needed to get in that scrum. And saved what could have perhaps been the equalizer for Northern Virginia. Couple changes in the offing for Northern Virginia. I beg your pardon, for Christos here. Northern Virginia have used all of theirs. Ventura, nifty move again. Cajun Nadeau still playing as the center man now.
Christos content just to play with the center backs here. Fullbacks not dropping back to help, instead playing high up, looking to make those attacking runs. Travers, no one even near him right now.
They're doing the same with Richardson a little bit earlier as well, weren't they?
Exactly, yeah. They're leaving these NoVa's leaving the fullbacks open, perhaps as a symptom of being down a man, which allows Christos to get ahead, but it's just dangerous because then it leaves space open for NoVa potentially on the counterattack.
Well, here are the changes coming in for Christos, and they can finally be made. Roshan Panton, Braden Wise, and Vince Petrera. Stitz exits. He has a goal tonight. Right now, that is the difference maker so far. Also exiting Albi Dranica, who also has a goal tonight. He was brilliant too. And Josh Morgan exits on the far side. So Christos also use all of their subs on the evening. No more changes left for these two sides. We're counting down on almost 5 minutes left. Zierhofer. Once again, Northern Virginia, they're down to 10 men. Christos were able to score immediately after that happened. Aaron Etienne picked up a couple of yellows. Offsides would have been the call anyways. Play continues here. Ben Stitz scored that goal in about the 63rd minute. Braden Wise with his back to the rest of the pitch, helping out Zierhofer. And they're trying to play out of the back here. Pretty nervy. Still get it to go, though. Under pressure, that's the sign of a good team. Petrera heads one down. That is a tall guy out there, too. Petrera. So may be able to come in clutch here down the stretch. Playing at Villanova. Getting some of his first action for Christos FC. And Zierhofer able to stave off a couple more seconds as he will pick this one up. The referee telling Zierhofer to hustle things up here with time beginning to dwindle away from Northern Virginia. Right now it seems like Christos might be satisfied with this result.
I mean, 3 points is nothing to be unsatisfied at the very least.
Braden Wise loads his space right now. Playing his college ball this season at Lycoming, Division III. Panton able to keep it alive for Christos. Bender out wide for Travers, who has had a lot of space here tonight. Late challenge coming in. Petrera on the touch. Brummett retreated. Brief look over his shoulder here. Nadeau right with Bender on him. They weave through this defense. They can't quite take it back from Northern Virginia. Nadeau still causing issues. Nadeau down the right side. Tries to cross over Saunderson. Play continues. There's another trip up. And the assistant referee will wave his flag in way of Jordan Travers.
Getting a little bit chippy here down at the end of the game coming. NoVa obviously threatening, trying to find an equalizer. Christos desperate to do anything to keep them off of it.
3 minutes to go before we reach the full 90. Another big set piece coming up for Northern Virginia. This one's hit low. Oh! Nearly flicked in. And somehow it is still 3-2, but it looks like a corner kick is coming up, though.
Everything but the finish. That was perfect. NoVa, perfect delivery, perfect, well, almost perfect touch if you could just get it on net.
Clegg on the cross. Panton kicks one away. Petrera right in front of Sevier. Sevier kicks it back to safety for the moment. Omar Ismail. And now the break is on. Ahmed Ismail back into traffic. One-timer. We're trying to connect there with Bleeker once again. Chance coming in. What a tackle made. Putting his body on the line. And still Christos with the lead, but nervy moments here as it hit him extremely hard.
Wow. Yordi Luce is doing everything to keep that ball out of the net, really committing himself to that tackle. I mean, hopefully he's okay. What a play.
Perhaps a game-saving block. 3 points saving block for Christos.
And Christos seeming a little unorganized now with NoVa putting so much pressure on, trying to find that goal here in the waning minutes and seconds of the game. Christos, honestly, a couple minutes here to breathe, find themselves, get the defense set might be exactly what they need to see this game out.
This takes a couple more seconds off the clock, but you better believe that this will be added on into those stoppage minutes. And that might have actually almost hit Lucci's where you don't want to be hit as well. But that was still an absolutely violent slide that has kept this game where it is.
And you probably didn't hear the referee saying 4 minutes now to go.
Massive. Crossed in again. Saunderson leaps out of his shoes and shouts for a foul inside, as it was Ventura who was asking for it. And Zierhofer will take this. We have reached the 90th minute. 10 seconds away from fully reaching that 90. We've been told, as you mentioned, Danny, 4 added minutes to this one tonight. That is all that stands in between Christos and their second straight win to begin USL League 2. That one sent pretty deep. Stays just inside the boundaries here at the Moose. Hustle here from Northern Virginia. Once again, credit to them for just continuing to fight here, even down a player. Travers heads that out. Clegg, nicely done just to get it in a little bit of space. The defense stands strong. Petrera, back to Brummett. Brummett, I think it hit off of him last. It did. Clegg, who has been playing mostly as a center back tonight, now playing as a wing back, throwing that one in very quickly. Travers showing off his center back skills. Brummett, he lost out there to Ismail.
That's NoVa's best chance of getting a goal, I think. You catch Christos off guard, catch them when the defense isn't set, get a little chaos, and maybe the ball can find the net. If Christos can get set, they shouldn't be giving up any goals here in the run of play.
Well, Brummett hit the turf, and it earns a whistle. About 3 minutes left in these added minutes here tonight. They're almost there. Northern Virginia just continuing to put on that pressure. Mike Zierhofer might try to kick it almost as far as he can here. Asking for Jacob Bender to make a run. It is sent to that back line. That first touch was made by Omar Ismail. Bender working backwards. Looking to possess the ball here. Well done by Travers again. That's been a brilliant sub tonight for Christos. Brummett staying right along with it. He just lost it. It favors Northern Virginia. Perhaps one of their final last gasps here. About 2 minutes left in the stoppage minutes. Yeah, easy for Saunderson in the end. Brummett just a little too short to claim that one.
That's the advantage of having a Kyle Saunderson in the back. No worries if he's going to play a ball in that could potentially equalize the game. You're not worried. You got Kyle Saunderson.
Oh, and Lucis goes down again. Another violent slide out just to keep it away from NoVa. And they will stop the play for this. And perhaps looking to add another minute on here.
In the waning seconds, Christos is out of substitutions, however, so either they'll go down to 10 men and play level for the last minute, or Lucis will just have to tough it out.
At this point, you might just think you'd rather just have a body in there, even though
Exactly.
it might be an injured body.
Exactly.
Just about 1 minute to go. A trip up. Whistle goes against Medrano.
This is the opportunity NoVa needs. They can float a ball into the box. They can get an opportunity on net.
Directing almost everybody in. Palacios looking, seeing if he needs to even sprint in too. Ben Sevier sets up to take this. There goes everybody. Sevier on the curler. Lucis again. One-timer chance, not even on target. Lucis back out for Sevier. Just a few moments away from reaching the full 4 added minutes, though maybe a couple seconds beyond with the Lucis injury, although the whistle's in the referee's mouth here. This could be the last kick of the game, and it is! And Christos escape with a 3-2 victory over Northern Virginia FC tonight. Wow, what a game this was. And Northern Virginia exhausted after this one. The flare goes again, but 2-0 this season, all 6 points for Christos.
That's a fantastic game by both teams. Really left it all on the pitch, as you may be able to tell with some of the reactions from both teams. Christos clearly thrilled to get out of here with 3 points, a deserved 3 points, I might add. Northern Virginia probably deserved more than the 0 they're getting. A great effort by them, but ultimately they're coming up short, but they'll have 2 more chances to get points off Christos this season.
You've got to wonder, what type of game would this have been had Aaron Etienne not gotten that yellow card?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that spurred Christos to get that third goal. And even down a man, NoVa was fighting hard to the last whistle and had opportunities. So with an extra body, maybe they equalize. Tough to say. I guess we'll find out if we can get a full 90 in a couple weeks.
Well, either way, brilliantly done by both of these two squads. We'll just run through the goals here one more time. It started off in that first half. Jordi Alucci's pinballing around and finding the goal after it was crossed in off of a corner kick. But Northern Virginia were able to respond pretty quickly. It was a goal by Tyler Clegg in the 9th minute to make it 1-1. And then about 7 minutes after, Jean-Philippe Mangui Alyumbong made it 2-1. Northern Virginia thought, well, maybe this could be a long day for Christos. But the young player, the young star, Albi Dranica, equalized at 2-2 in the 22nd minute, and it stayed that way. Then, come the second half, Aaron Etienne slid in, picked up his second yellow card of the evening. So Northern Virginia were down to 10 men on the night. And then not too long after that, it was Ben Stitz scored a goal in about the 63rd minute, made it 3-2. And that is how the rest of this game ended. Christos were able to withhold and stop a plethora of chances coming from Northern Virginia down the stretch. But in the end, another 3 points for Christos. Danny, any final thoughts from this one tonight?
I think this just shows Christos. They've got depth to be able to compete throughout the season. It's good and well to have good players that can get you through the start of the season, but when you get into the later days, into late June, early July, you need to have a full squad that's able to compete at a high level, and I think we saw today that Christos has that.
Well, that'll do it for us here tonight at the Moose in Glen Burnie, Maryland. For our fantastic crew working this one, Mr. Noah Walker up top. And for my partner, Danny Tao, I'm Christian Taylor signing off here for game number 2 of the season for this Christos side. Next game, next Wednesday, the women's team set up to play. It's going to be another exciting one. That women's team, folks, is going to be very good. We'll compete for a national title, so we'll see what happens there. Danny Tao will be on the call for that one. But the final score of this one tonight, it is Christos 3, Northern Virginia 2. We'll see you then, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your night and stay safe.